Okay, hello, my name is Liz, and I am already packed. This is my husband, Liz. Let me see the shades.
These are nice. Thank you, honey.
Well, are you packed yet?
No, I haven't even started.
So, the trail, what are we doing? Well, we did already announce this on my friend Evan's last video, but in case you missed that, we have decided to hike the Long Trail in Vermont, the Vermont Long Trail, which actually was not the original plan. So originally, like last year, I decided I really wanted to hike the John Muir Trail out in California. I was researching it all winter, I had my heart set on it, but you need a permit to hike it. And so the permitting process is kind of complicated, but you have to apply like 26 weeks before the date you want to hike. So that put me applying in like February. And to make a very long story short, gave myself a 6-week window, applied every day. There's like a rolling application you can do, and it's a lottery system, and we did not get permits to hike the John Muir Trail. So that was a bummer, but that led to us deciding on the Long Trail instead. Honestly, that is something that I really haven't been interested in before. I've already hiked the first 100 miles of that because it coincides with the Appalachian Trail. So I've just crossed over the border and into Vermont and onto the Long Trail. So far, so good. I spoke too soon. Vermont is just mud. So the Long Trail, I think, is 273 miles. So there's an additional 173 miles that I haven't done. Luke hasn't done any of it. He was coming out and visiting me on the Appalachian Trail, and he didn't visit during that section, so it'll all be new to him. Really, I think that this year, it's been 3 years since I finished the AT, and I've been missing it so much, so I think that was what sparked the sudden interest in the Long Trail. Also, logistically, it's going to be way easier to get to and from the trail because we live in New Hampshire, so we can just get rides to either end of it. Also, as far as the muddiness, I went through a little earlier in the season when I was on the AT. I went through like in July, I think, and so we planned to do this at the end of August into September, thinking that it would be a much drier time of year to do it, so it wouldn't be as muddy. But unfortunately, it has just been non-stop raining around here anyway for the last few months, and super humid, wet. So I don't know, I think it is gonna end up being pretty muddy, but hopefully the northern section is better. I guess we'll find out. So anyways, that is what we're doing. Okay, so logistics. I've been using the Guthooks app to plan out this trip. Kind of a rough plan, leaving some room for flexibility for things to change, but trying to plan out mileage for each day, like towns we're gonna stop in, stuff like that. So what we've got so far is to do this in 20 days, which I think is reasonable. Like the mileage that I'm planning on is definitely a little bit lower than what I was doing on the Appalachian Trail. But I have to say, I did that hike with Evan a couple weeks ago when we did the Grafton Loop. I did a video on that. If you didn't see it, I'll link it below. But yeah, we were doing like 10 to 15 miles per day, and it was definitely harder than I thought it was going to be. So since that trip, I've been like a little concerned that I'm overestimating mileage for each day for the Long Trail. We'll definitely be able to do it. It just might not be as like fun and easygoing as I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, the plan is anywhere from like 13 to 17 mile days usually. A couple Neros thrown in there, no zeros, and we would finish in 20 days, which would put us finishing on September 10th, which is our anniversary. Which brings me to gear. Okay, so I'm not going to go through everything I'm bringing for gear because I feel like I've been there, done that. So I'll link below my post-AT gear list video because mostly everything's the same. But there's a few differences, so I'll mention those quickly. Shoes. So to make a super long story short, I was trying to get the same shoes, but I don't know if they're discontinuing them. I couldn't find them in my size, so I got the comparable shoe that's men's. So I'm a little worried about that, the size conversion. I think they feel a little too tight, and they're waterproof, which you really shouldn't do, but that's all they had. So they're Solomon's. I love Solomon's. Hopefully they're fine. Camp shoes, my Crocs broke a while back, so I got some Nero like sandals, so I'm gonna use those for my camp shoe. Our new tents, we got the Hyperlite Ultimate 2, and it comes in 2 parts. So this is like the tarp part, and this is the insert, the bug net with the bathtub floor. Super light, super easy to set up, and Luke and I can each carry half, so it balances out a little bit. It's not that heavy anyway, but... And then another new thing, Luke bought us umbrellas by Z-Pack. So I've never used an umbrella. I was thinking I wanted it because of bringing my camera, which we'll talk about in a minute, but I don't know, I keep going back and forth. I was thinking no, and then looking at the weather report for our first few days, I think I will bring it. Other than that, the usual, like, toiletries, electronics, clothes, puffy jacket, rain jacket, water filter, food, sit pad, Hyperlite pack, my favorite gear item ever. That's it. Okay, starting off with 4 days of food. This is Luke's food and my food. He has a little more than me. We got coffees and drink mixes. Breakfast, which we've got oatmeal, granola, half a breakfast essentials packet, some walnuts, coconut, and cranberries. And then for lunches, we usually do like peanut butter crackers, a bar, a beef stick, some candy, some fruit snacks, and then he needs extra things, so he does like tortilla peanut butter, trail mix, beef jerky, and then for dinners he's doing pasta sides, ramen, tuna, and then for other snacks, Cheez-Its, and some candy. For me, similar, drink mixes. Breakfast is the same, lunches are the same, I just don't do as many like extra snacks. And then for dinners I do tortilla, dried fruit, honey, cashew butter, and some extra candy for afterwards. So that should do it for 4 days. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about as far as preparation goes for this hike is videos. So I mentioned on my last video how I was thinking about bringing this camera with me on this hike. So I tested it out when I hiked with Evan. And I'm sorry to say, I think I've decided not to bring it. I freaking love this camera and I love this lens, and Hyperlite just came out with that camera pod that makes it so much easier to have on you, but I just feel like there's a lot of downsides to bringing it, and I think that outweighs the amazing video quality. The downsides are obviously it's freaking heavy, it's big, you get the extra batteries and everything, so it does add a lot of weight. Also, it's just kind of like a hassle between getting the camera out every time you want to film something, to worrying about the rain and the elements, or dropping it, or like transferring the videos from the camera to the phone to edit the videos, and charging the batteries every night. It's just kind of a pain in the ass, and I feel like if this was my full-time job, that'd be one thing, but this is just a hobby and I'm going out to have fun. So I think I've decided not to bring it. I will just be filming on my phone. So hopefully you guys will still want to watch, even though the video quality is a little less than what I'm actually capable of. In addition, in this realm of video stuff, I also was thinking about doing daily videos, which is not something that I've done before. On the Appalachian Trail, I would film like 3 days and put that all into one video. But I feel like for me to edit, honestly, it might be easier and more fun to just isolate each day at a time. So I'm curious what you guys think about that, because for me as like a consumer, somebody who watches YouTube videos, daily videos gets like overwhelming to me. It's just too many videos. I don't have enough time. I get behind and then I just stop watching. But obviously a lot of people do that, so I'm curious what you guys think. I just think for me it would be easier, so that's why I'm kind of leaning in that direction. Try it out. 20 days, doable. So yeah, I think that is gonna wrap up this video, other than I will leave you with the new little introduction video segment thing that I put together for the long trail. So we'll end with that and I'll see you on the trail.